Hello, my name's Karen Barnes and I'm here today on behalf of the Interflora Floristry Trade Club, and I'm going to put together some of the materials that you see in front of me on my workbench into a hand tie that would be suitable for the autumnal season, which we're into now, but maybe also you could add accessories for Halloween. However, saying all of that, I've got the most beautiful glass vase here which I've fallen in love with. It's almost got like a leopard skin type glaze to it. It's beautiful. It's quite heavy, even though it's got water in, it's heavy without that. So it's a good quality one. So just going through the materials that I've got here today. I've got the Gemini, which is beautiful, almost like a fiery two-tone look to it with this gorgeous dark centre. And I've had to write down the varieties of some of these because there are so many varieties, as you know. So this is called Wakita, which is not one I've used before, but I love the colour of it. Then I've got the mixed eucalyptus, which is a mixed bunch of eucalyptus, which on one of my other films that I've done for the Interflora Floristry Trade Club, I mentioned that lots of different eucalyptus varieties are really useful for me as a florist that does a lot of installations and a lot of weddings, so that I'm not just buying one particular variety. So I've got a lovely mixed selection here. I've got this gorgeous deep burgundy astilbe, just beautiful. I've taken most of the foliage off, but as you'll know, that this just does dry naturally beautifully anyway. And then I've got this really cute clematis, this sort of little feathery number here, which is very pretty. And then I've got a tiny orange rose. It's quite a strong head rose, but it's quite tiny, but it's just perfect for what we want to use it for today. And this rose is called Clarence. Now I'm going to remember that because of the lion. And then I've got this lovely crimson tempo burgundy carnation. The calyx is really nice and firm. These are from Colombia. I'm going to remove the foliage off the bracts so that I don't have any foliage below the tying point. So I'll do that. And then we've got these lovely, beautiful seasonal dahlias, almost like a pom-pom, very concentrated, they're very firm. I've removed a lot of the foliage. If you find that you get dahlias, as I'm sure you do, and they've got a stem with nothing on it, that's just the way the grower has actually bred the dahlia and maybe cut the head off at earlier weeks or months of the season. So just nip that off and then no one's none the wiser. And then I've got the twine, my favourite twine, my garden twine. It's very soft and delicate to use against particularly fleshy stems. It's not going to cut into it, but it's quite strong, so that's really good. So without further ado, I'm going to start with my dahlias, and this is going to go and sit in this lovely vase. So I'm just going to remove those buds because I'm going to use them, but I'm going to group the astilbe so we've got a little bit of depth to it as well. And gorgeous eucalyptus. As I'm putting the hand tag together, I will remove some of the foliage. Never, or try not to throw these into the bin or onto the floor because it's all money, and we can use them somewhere else. So that could be used in a nice little corsage or a buttonhole or a nice little pick up and go vase. We never know where these little bits of foliage can be used. I'm going to get some texture going here. So I'm going to bring the depth of these beautiful Clarence roses in a group. Bring the astilbe through, and I'm not tying it all together at all until I've finished. I'm one of those florists that likes to arrange it in the hand and then see where we go, and then I can tie it together. Another dahlia, and I think the form of these dahlias is really quite enticing. I think particularly when you're using something like a round, almost like a globe type vase, it almost replicates what they're actually going to sit in. So using the buds of the dahlias, again, it gives a little bit more texture and feel to it, a bit more interest, a little bit of astilbe. I like to group flowers. Now we've got these gorgeous carnations. Again, taking off the foliage, two of those together. take this, and of course you can use any flower materials and foliage materials that you would like to do, just that I thought for today's filming that this was very, very autumnal, and we don't have to use everything that I've got in front of me. When I was training many years ago, my boss said to me, a florist can make anything out of all good materials, but it takes a very specialised florist to make something out of nothing, and I've never forgotten it. So all these little bits and pieces that are left over from this vase, as business owners, you'll probably be able to make more money as well out of all the little bits that are left over. And it takes a skill to make something out of nothing, as my old boss used to say. So I'm just grouping the carnations again, removing this foliage as I go on. I should have removed this earlier, but I was so excited to put this together for you that I went straight in. And see how spiky it's looking, how many little different forms and shapes we've got in this. A little rose there, another dahlia. Oh, this one's got one that's almost open as well, so we've got double value there. Pull my carnation down. So it's almost the depth of this is that as you look into it, you want to see more, your customer wants to see more, and whoever's receiving this, who's lucky enough to receive some, any flowers from any of us, then it has to be something in my book that they're going to enjoy, they're going to get pleasure from, and they're going to love the types of flowers and the stems and the varieties. And I'm very much into colour. I love colour. I think it's so important. And we're so lucky that the materials that we have at our doorstep is all about colour and textures. Just put another one there. And then another dahlia. Just looking at the textures here. Going around. Another gemini. And then I'm going to just add a little bit more still be just these three little stems. Just group them there. I'm going to trim these off. I'm going to add a little bit more foliage just to give a little bit of a flow to it. Remove those. Now again, these little bits of eucalyptus I'm taking off, these are perfect for buttonholes, or if you're making headdresses or corsages, wrist sprays, so they're perfect. Just to put them in a little glass vase. Never throw anything away if you can help it. And that's one of my mantras when I'm teaching to young students, young people that are coming into the industry. Everything costs money, so don't throw it away. And just a couple more pieces, I think. There we go. Now, just take that off. If you use any foliages and it has a little bit of something that's not quite nice, I just nipped that off now. Can't see where it's gone now, but it had a little bit of brown, so it's always better. Oh, there it is. So it has a little bit of brown, and one of the leaves just looks a bit bruised. It's better to nip that off, and then your customer or your recipient has no chance of saying actually the whole bouquet's died, because they can see one stem that's not very nice. So the twine, I go around twice. The stems are clean. Move this, I'll tidy up as I've finished, and then again very carefully lay it on the workbench and bring the twine together, not very tightly. So I'm going to trim that off, so that's not going to soak up the water. And any foliage that you can see here, I would always trim off. Because as we know, any foliage, anything that's below the water level in a container or a vase is subject to bacteria and growing bacteria, which then in turn harms your flower stems and the uptake of water. So it's always good to use best practice and make sure. Right. So we'll bring this beautiful vase, pull the stems together because they naturally splay out, and then just open it up very loosely, just so it looks like it's just got a little bit of natural flair. And there you go, you've got a beautiful autumnal vase in this gorgeous sort of like leopard looking vase, which is very lush and almost exotic looking. But also this is great for a themed party if you've got clients that are looking for something that's a little bit tropical or something like that. And your world's your oyster with your varieties. Anyway, without further ado, I hope you enjoy this. I'm certainly going to love it. I'm going to try and take this home if I may. Anyway, take care and bye.